Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. There is a website. It is. I feel like every 5 seconds I'm like getting some type of schmutz off of this. How is that happening? Like seriously. There's a website, chroniclebooks.com. It's right there. If you'd like to search that out and find out what's going on there. If there's more stuff. Totally blaming you, kitty. Totally blaming you. Alright, Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reisch. Reisch is R-E-I-S-C-H. Okay. What do we have for Sagittarius? Like a bunch of cards, apparently. Okay. Which is neither good nor bad. We're just going to have to see what's going on there. Okay, so, and there's like 3 cards, and they happen twice. That's not that bad. Starting off, you're coming into something. You got imagination coming in, right? When I'm feeling imagination for you, it's a situation where you have, it seems like the information is limited. Like, you know what you know about maybe certain people and what it's like to work with certain people a little bit. But whatever, there's like a whole new dynamic going on here. Something about the dynamic is different. I think I know how this adds up. I'm not really sure. Some things don't seem right. I'm not really sure how that adds with that. I don't understand why those two hang out so much. One of those things. And I feel like you're coming into it trying to figure it out. Kind of like, well, might as well get some conversations going. Let's see what's going on here. I'll do this with them. Maybe I'll help them with this. And while I'm helping them with that, we'll see what we can chat up about it. You're trying to get a better handle about what you're dealing with. You just want to have a better idea, more of a clue about what's really going on here. Because it's like, I don't want to just run in circles. Like, that's not really going to work. I want to actually be effective. So if I can find out more information, maybe I can be more effective. Makes sense. On the side, face down. Passion, energy, and divine guidance. Passion, energy. Passion and energy almost seem redundant. There's a little difference to them, I know. But what I'm getting from this is what's happening here is already on track. Things are already like, there's already a whole schism. Almost like there's a clique. I almost feel like you're coming into like a whole new clique of people or something like that. People match up the way they do and they're used to doing what they do. The divine guidance especially, like, they get a lot done. They do it the way they want to do it. And they're not going to let somebody change that. So I feel like with this energy, like if this is face down, which you may not know as you get involved with this, you may be looking to carve out your own niche or carve out your own place, your own position. But I feel like they're saying this is not a situation for you to carve out a place to you to fit. This is one of those situations where you got to see what's happening, see what spots are open. And I feel like things are very well defined. It reminds me almost like a parking lot. Almost like you got to find out what space is open. But there's like certain spaces are for buses. Some are for limos. Some are for small cars. Some are for medium-sized cars. Some are for delivery trucks. It's like there's spaces like they're specifically mapped out and put in certain places for certain reasons. It's kind of like that type of parking lot. And you're like, all right, where do I fit? What type of places are open for me? It's kind of like I have a mid-sized car that can fit here or there. All right, but once I'm there, like that's where that stays. It's something's very defined with the King of Pentacles here. It's kind of like you're going into something that's already well defined, and once you decide and figure out where you fit, that's it. Like there's not much negotiation. There's just you figuring out how it needs to be done and then just sticking to that regimen. You're coming in with grace, harvest, and safe travel. Safe travel especially makes me feel like you're not getting any type of pushback in the sense of like, listen, Sagittarius, you're new here. Do it the way you're supposed to do. That's not happening. But like, you're coming into it, they're like, this is how this goes. And you're like, okay. But when they explain something like this is how this goes, like there's no wiggle room. There's no negotiation. This is just that's how that goes. I feel like it might be not only this is how it's done, but this is when it's done. We do these things in this order. This is when this gets done. This is when that gets done. This is how you do that. This is how you do that. And that's just how it goes. It's very regimented. I keep getting regimented. It feels kind of strict to me. Grace, safe travel, harvest. All this makes me feel like you fit. And I feel like you identify it quickly. Like, oh, okay, this is one of those situations where you color inside the lines. You color with the color they told you to, and you do each piece based on, like, you do all the pieces labeled number 1 first, all the pieces labeled number 2 second. You do the correct color. If it says olive green, you use olive green. You don't use any green you want. You don't use Kelly green. You don't use a lime green. If it says olive green, you use olive green. And you're like, I get it. I know how this works. I've been through this before. And you can do that. You're like, all right. Liking it, I don't know. You're just kind of like, you got grace on your side, kind of like, this is what needs to happen, so that's what needs to happen. It's not about how I feel about it. I feel like you're disconnecting from that. Like, it's not about what I feel about it. This is what you do, so that's what I'm doing. You do it well. You're like, okay, then that's how it has to be. Then that's how it has to be. The star card shows up in the environment. Somebody is reiterating that it has to go the same way every time. And you're confirming that. Yep, and I did it this way, and I did that. I used the olive green. I did it there was the second one, so I did that second. The third one was this midnight blue. I used the midnight blue. The fourth one was the cherry red. Whatever. I used that, and I did them in order, and the way I was supposed to. Yep, and I know that's how we do it every time. It's not a negotiation. That's how it's done. I understand. You're getting kind of praise for that, I think. Whoever this was expecting a little bit more of a pushback. A lot of people push back on that. Kind of like, well, I was bored of the olive green, so I switched over. I jumped over to cherry red for a while just because I needed to liven it up for myself. And they don't like that. That's kind of like, that's not how we do things there. And you're like, you saw it coming. You're like, oh no. Nope, I have to do it in order, because if you go out of the order, people get all upset. I can stick to the order. I know that's how this is done here. You mold to the situation. You're like, okay, that's how it's done then. Queen of Cups is how you actually add into the situation. If there's things you don't like, I feel like you're keeping it to yourself. You're making the situation work. These are the rules. I got it. You know that. You know how it is. I feel like for the majority of you, if not all of you, when the rules are strict like that, you know how that goes. You just know how it goes. And that's how it is. So I'm getting like, the farther you go with this, do we have victory? We have victory for your side. You're paying attention more to like the dynamics of the group here. My job gets done the way my job gets done, and that's what I need to do, and that's how I need to do it. You're like, it doesn't matter how much I like it. I'm disconnecting. You're disconnecting. This is just how it needs to go. You're more watching the dynamics of the group. Who gets along, who doesn't, why this, who pushes, who tries to go against the grain, who does things the way they need to, who thrives doing things this way, like doing things regimented order, who thrives on that, who really loves that, who really hates that. You've got study with victory. The more you understand how people really work and how they're really adding into the current situation, the better things go for you later. Because it feels like I gotta know like who really likes this, who really doesn't, who's okay with it, who's not okay with it. Like there's different levels of like, they love it, great, it's okay, I can do it. I don't really like it, but I can live with it. I hate it. Like there's all these different levels, and you're figuring out who fits where. You're just kind of rolling with it. You're like, I don't really care for it. It's kind of what I'm getting for you, but I can do it, so whatever. And you're connecting with other people, because some people feel really held down by the situation. It just bores them to tears. They literally hate it. And I feel like you're helping people get used to it, and I feel like you're doing what you can to add in some positive energy there. Ten of Cups, you're melding in with this situation. I feel like you're trying to like address people who don't really like what's going on, but also kind of like saying, yeah, but look how well it turns out every time. We know what to expect. We know every Tuesday at this time we're going to be doing that, and we're going to get out on time, obviously, because we do things the same every time. We do get benefits from this. We don't really have to stay late because everything's on point. Everything's on time. Everything's on point. We never have to do stuff like that. So when we want to plan things to do something else outside of the situation, we don't have to worry about it or this situation causing us issue. You're helping people deal with it. I feel like you're helping people just deal with it. Just deal with it. And I feel like there's going to be people in this situation who are going to walk away from it. Because I get the Three of Wands. When other people walk away, I feel like that's what's stressful for you. Because I feel like you might bond with some people. I actually think the people who really don't like this regimen are the ones you're really going to have a connection with. They're also going to be the people who are like, after a while, they're going to be like, I can't stand this anymore. I have to go somewhere else. I can't do it anymore. I just can't stand it. And I feel like it's going to be hard for you. Because when they leave, I do see like the stress going up, but I also see success here. When I get the Ten of Wands, I get a high level of stress, but I also get the success is still there. You haven't lost any of the success, but it's kind of like, you know, I really, the monotony isn't really for me, but I can still deal with it. I was really liking the social connections here. That was making it a lot better for me, but now a lot of those social connections are walking away. But you're still thriving. You're still thriving with this. I do think it's boring, whatever this is. It does feel boring, but you're still thriving. I'm getting a new beginning with the Nine of Wands, kind of like, I feel like at some point you are going to need a change too. It's just a matter of time. Whatever you got into here, it's good for a while, and some of you might stay a couple years at this, whatever this is. But at some point you're going to need a change, because after a while it just doesn't, you just don't get excited about it. It's kind of like, yeah, it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, you know, it's Watermelon Wednesday. I don't know why, because it rhymes with Wednesday, you know, Thirsty Thursday. I don't know what we're saying with that, but there you go. Like, every day has its thing, and you do it. It's just kind of like, it's very predictable. You're kind of like, it's boring. Everything works out the way it's supposed to, but you're like, eh. After a while, I feel like I feel like they're just saying that, like, other people are going to go, and after a while, you're going to be like, you know what? It's about time for me to go, too. So whatever this situation is, I'm getting, like, sooner or later you will go from whatever it is. I think for a lot of you, you might reevaluate what you're dealing with. So who knows? Maybe you're at the point where you're, like, questioning, should I be going? And you're like, sooner or later you will anyway, so make up your mind what you want to do. Maybe just hold on until the best opportunity comes your way and then go. Something like that, since you can still stomach it. For others of you coming in the beginning, you might kind of look at this like, you know, maybe I'll start looking now instead of waiting this out, because the monotony will get to me, and I feel like you easily connect to that, like, yeah, I know that will get to me at some point. So maybe I'll start looking now rather than waiting for later. It's up to you what you think, right? What you think is right. Anything else with this? I feel like it's almost like, I feel like the whole point of this reading is kind of like they're saying sooner or later you're going to want to go. You could probably hold in for a couple years if you really want to, but I feel like they're just kind of giving you that heads up, like sooner or later you will go, and you'll see other people leaving, and it'll kind of be like, it'll be kind of a bummer, and then you'll be like, you know what, everybody else left too, I think I'm going to go too. So I think they're just giving you that heads up about it, just in case that matters. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.